Okay, football friends, football season is finally here, which means fantasy football season is also upon us, and this week we're going to get you dialed in as you consider who to sit and who to start at the running back position by ranking the top 25 running backs for 2024. As always, our forecasts are based on expert analysis, strength of schedule, and a heavy dose of speculation. It may come as no surprise, but at the top of our list, we have NFL fantasy football star San Francisco 49ers Christian McCaffrey. He should play well against the Jets this week. He was RB1 81% of the time last season and managed to stay free of injury in a bounce-back season. During last year's playoff run, CMC averaged 21.2 touches and 126.5 yards. Compared to his peers, he was second in carries, fourth in targets, and had the most red zone touches. Clearly, he's a game changer, and that's why we have him at number 1. Bijan Robinson's rookie debut with the Atlanta Falcons was a roller coaster, but he takes the field this fall with a new coaching staff and a new offensive philosophy. He managed to set Atlanta's franchise rookie record for yards from scrimmage with 1,463 last season, scoring 8 touchdowns overall, 4 on the ground and 4 in the air. Robinson should thrive in 2024 and is clearly worthy of being one of the top picks in any draft. Coming in at number 3, we have Breece Hall of the New York Jets. While his 2023 campaign was a bounce-back year from injuries, his 299 touches yielded nearly 1,500 yards and allowed him to tally 9 touchdowns. In particular, his 20.2 touches and 102.5 yards per week in weeks 5 through 18 were impressive. Hall had the most passing targets, receptions, and yards among running backs. Look for him to continue this trajectory with Aaron Rodgers back in command of the Jets offense. Contracts and injuries plagued Jonathan Taylor's 2023 season with the Colts. In weeks 7 through 18, he averaged 21 touches and 100 yards per outing. His 741 rushing yards on 169 tries and 7 touchdowns underline his top back status. Taylor crushes opponents with his ability to break tackles and rack up yards after contact. We expect him to see the end zone at least 10 times this season and reward fantasy owners who chose him early. Saquon Barkley should continue to thrive in Philly this year, but it remains to be seen whether his carries will suffer behind running quarterback Jalen Hurts. Expect head coach Nick Sirianni to lighten Hurts' workload by giving Barkley the lion's share of the carries in goal-to-goal situations. Saquon remains an every-down bell cow in his 27th season despite diminishing stats. Last season, he played 70% of snaps in 11 of 14 games for the Giants, ranking 2nd in opportunity to share and 4th in weighted opportunities. Even at this point in his career, Barkley is top RB1. Derrick Henry led the league in rushing attempts and was 2nd in yards with 280 and 1,167 last year. While the punishing back turns 30 this year, his ability to catch passes out of the backfield has improved in the last 2 seasons, so he'll be a versatile RB1 with the new-look Baltimore Ravens. Trust King Henry to relieve Lamar Jackson of some of his run duties and anchor the Ravens offense with 14 in 2024. A 2023 breakout, Kyren Williams, supplanted Cam Akers for the Rams starting role in Week 2. Williams was 4th overall in red zone touches and came in 2nd in fantasy points per game. Williams established himself last season as head coach Sean McVay's mainstay with 22.3 touches and 117.8 yards from weeks 2 through 17, playing at least 72% of offensive snaps. The only criticism of Williams last season was his passing game role. Despite entering the NFL as a valued passing down back, Williams placed 18th in target share and 58th in yards per route run among 60 qualified backs. At our 7th spot, we have Travis Etienne of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Etienne had 325 touches, 1,484 yards, and 12 touchdowns during his 2023 campaign. Though his numbers declined in the back half of the season last year, Travis Etienne Jr. should be a lock at RB1 on most fantasy teams. Despite an underwhelming offensive line, look for Travis to get 900 yards rushing and exceed 10 trips to the end zone this season. Ranking 5th in fantasy points per game last season is standout young rusher Devon Achane from Miami. In 8 games, Achane averaged 14.2 touches and 113.8 yards. Fantasy players that prioritize efficiency will appreciate his ability to impact the game despite the Dolphins' running back by committee approach. Watch out for Achane to possibly be favored over Raheem Mostert and Jalen Wright as the goal line runner in 2024 and become a top 3 back. The Chiefs' Isaiah Pacheco is a season-long lineup lock for fantasy managers. Pacheco achieved star status in his 2023 sophomore campaign. He was Kansas City's workhorse, playing 70% throughout the season. His 15.3 fantasy points per game were nearly double his 2022 number, and he surged late in the season, scoring 20-plus points in 3 of his final 4 regular season games before tallying 373 yards and 3 touchdowns during the Chiefs' Super Bowl championship run. Most importantly, Pacheco handled 7 of the team's 10 goal line carries and 16 of 23 carries in goal-to-goal situations, establishing himself as the clear lead dog in KC. Next up is Joe Mixon, now a Houston Texan. After joining the Texans this spring in a trade, Mixon will look to bring his volume-driven production from the Bengals to a talented Texans roster. He finished 6th in total fantasy points and 9th in per-game production among all backs in 2023. Without much competition for snaps, targets, or touches present in Houston, expect Mixon to play a big role on the team with an embarrassment of riches at receiver that could create light opposing boxes this season. Last year, Tampa Bay turned over lead back duties to Rachaad White, where he ranked 4th in fantasy scoring among his peers. As good a pass catcher as he is a runner, White hit pay dirt 9 times in 2023, while he outperformed expectations. The Bucs haven't changed much on the RB depth chart, only adding 4th-round pick Bucky Irving, so expect similar utilization and production from White this season. We expect to see him gather 900 yards on the ground and another 400 through the air for the Bucs. Despite multiple injuries and sharing snaps in Seattle with Zach Charbonnet in 2023, Kenneth Walker III is a reliable fantasy RB2, RB20 previous season. Last year, Walker hurt his shoulder, oblique, chest, and calf, but still managed to average nearly 15 carries and 2 catches per contest for the season. Although he struggled with efficiency, only 4.1 yards per carry, Walker still figures to gain 1,000-plus yards this season and will lead Seattle's backfield while delivering solid RB2 numbers for fantasy managers. When Joe Brady became Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator, James Cook's season took off. Cook averaged 19.6 touches and 104.3 yards in weeks 11 through 18 and earned 4th place honors in total rushing yards. Expect a similar workload for Cook in 2024, as he is the Bills' undisputed leader among running backs. Consider him a lock for high-end RB2 roles with 1,000 yards of total offense and 7 touchdowns this season. Josh Jacobs will join the Green Bay Packers this season after 5 years with the Raiders. In 2023, he was a go-to back and ranked 2nd overall in touches per game. Unfortunately, though, because of career lows in yards and touchdowns, his on-field production did not match his utilization. Jacobs is expected to be the primary option for the Packers, but will share the backfield with rookie Marshawn Lloyd. Because we expect him to receive significant targets in the Green Bay scheme, Jacobs is still a top 20 running back. Ramondre Stevenson will be entering his 4th season with the New England Patriots. During the previous 3, he has averaged 15 touches and 12.4 fantasy points per game. While he proved himself capable of handling every down duties in 2022, he has since battled injuries and found himself in a by-committee offense run scheme. New head coach Jared Mayo is expected to continue that scheme in 2024 with the addition of rookie running back Antonio Gibson. Look for him to be a solid RB2 or flex option throughout this season. Since joining the Arizona Cardinals, James Conner has managed to be a top 10 running back in fantasy points per game 2 out of 3 seasons. Worth noting, he also cleared 1,000 yards on the ground for the first time in his 7-year career in 2023 and found his way to the end zone 7 times. We recommend rostering Conner for a consistent RB2 role, as he will be motivated to prove he's still got juice in the final year of his contract in Arizona. Round out our list of top fantasy backs is Detroit rookie David Montgomery. Last season, he proved that he has a knack for efficient running in his first year with the Lions. While sharing carries with Jahmyr Gibson, he was a solid RB2 option for fantasy owners, finishing 9th in rushing yards and 3rd in rushing touchdowns on the season. Don't expect Montgomery to provide much boost in the passing game, but behind an elite offensive line, Montgomery will again be a reliable RB2 in 2024. Thanks for tuning in to NFL Insiders. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more hard-hitting NFL coverage. Let us know in the comments who you'll be sitting and starting in your Week 1 fantasy football debut. Until next week, keep your eyes on the gridiron and get ready for some football.